Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I have a new easy postage printable available for you. So as always, you can grab the easy guide version for free for a limited time, and you can grab the full collection at a discount for a limited time. So this collection is called Steampunk Gears. And I want to show you what's included, but I also want to show you some experimentation I've been doing with papers. I've just kind of been trying to explore different papers, and I want to share with you what I've learned. So firstly, let me share with you the printable. So it's kind of funny because somebody I think requested in one of my videos for something that's geared more toward guys, and I know at the launch of Easy Wonder die number 3, like kind of I think right around Father's Day, because it came out on Father's Day, I believe. I had a vintage car collection, and it was all cars, which I thought would be great for Father's Day. But this one I think would be really great for masculine cards, or just anybody who really likes steampunk, honestly. So what you'll find in the Easy Guide version, and this will be the same for any Easy Postage printable. This has been designed to work with Easy Wonder die number 3. Even if you don't have Easy Wonder die number 3, you can still grab this for free and craft with it. There's plenty to craft with here, even if you don't have the die. But the beauty of it is that if you do have the die, this area here is designed so that it can be cut perfectly with your Easy Wonder die number 3, where your postage grid lands right there. And we flip that over, and these spots will land exactly in the areas of the die that were designed to cut out essentially postage stamp designs that you could layer right back into the grid here, the postage grid. So how fabulous is that? So with one cut through, you're going to get the postage grid, and you're going to get little postage stamp designs that you can put right back in. Now, what I've given you in the Easy Guide are additional images that you could use as postage stamp designs. So you get in total 10 additional images, and the reason why the magic number 10 is because the postage grid itself has 5 different grid locations. What I've done is given you 2 sets of 5. One set of 5 will be have been designed so that they can work with your postage grid in the landscape orientation, and the other set of 5 designs have been selected and oriented so that you can craft with them in the portrait orientation. And these extra images here have been scaled and clipped so that they can be easily cut with your Easy Wonder die number 3 add-on. So these are the 4 dies, because the smallest of the 2 dies will actually fit both of these grid locations here. So the smallest die cuts these 4. The largest die cuts these 2, and here's a really clear example of, landscape versus portrait. Then the medium rectangle cuts these 2, and the square die cuts these 2. So that way, if you wanted, instead of using these images, you can use your add-on die to cut these out. And the add-on dies have been designed so that they too can layer into or onto your postage grid. So that's the Easy Guide version. But to give everybody more options, more craftability with the Easy Postage printables, you can get the full collection, which comes with 2 additional extra printables. So in these extra printables, you're going to get, I just really love this rich, dark brown. These are 2 prints but they are both kind of in the same vein with one another. I just really think that that dark brown goes really nicely with these lighter sort of stamp designs. And the second sheet has this gorgeous sort of alcohol ink, with the metallics in it. I think that's just really beautiful. I can never get my own alcohol inks to work well with the metallics, so it's really nice to be able to just print it. And as you can see in the extra printables, each of them has 5 additional 5 images at the bottom. And one of the things that you'll maybe be able to see straight away is that it's a duplicate of what you saw earlier in the Easy Guide. So what I've done is I've taken these 10 extra images, and I split them. The 5 that were designed to be crafted in portrait style, I put on one sheet. The 5 that were designed to be crafted landscape, I put on their own sheet. And I've given you these images as their full image. So for example, if you'll notice here, this is our Easy Guide, this is the extra. What I did was in the Easy Guide, I clipped this down so that it would be easy to cut it with the largest rectangle die in your add-on die set. And what that means is that there's a lot of this image that I just clipped away, and I just chose to frame it, in this particular spot. But in the extra printable sheets, I've given you the whole image. That way you can, even if you're using the same die, you can position it and crop it in a different way. But you can kind of see, hopefully, that it's the exact same scale. It's just not clipped. And that gives you the benefit, especially if you wanted to just use the full image, you could send this through something like a Brother Scan and Cut and use that to cut out these images. Or you could choose a different die. Maybe you want to use the square die and cut out a little section of that instead. So whether you have the Easy Wonder dies and the add-on or not, you can have ultimate freedom and flexibility to craft with these however you would like. And that's why I like putting together the extras, so that you get some extra patterns, you get the images in full that you can create with. You don't even need to use the postage theme if you don't want to. You can always just trim off that postage border if you want. Lots of different things that you can do with these. So that is the new Steampunk Guys collection, now available in my shop. And for a limited time, you can get the Easy Guide version for free. Everybody can get that for free. Just go ahead and grab it, print it out, and have a play with it. The other option is to get it as the full collection of all 3, what you see here, and for a limited time, that is discounted. And that's always going to be the case with every postage printable that I put out. So check back on my website often so that you can grab these freebies. I usually release easy postage printables on the 15th of the month. Sometimes I have additional releases, and it'll either be on the 5th, 10th, or 15th, or the 25th. But always on the 15th of the month, I'm going to try to put out an easy postage printable. So far, I think I've been doing pretty good. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the paper exploration that I've been doing. So, now that I'm putting out more and more printables, because I just really have been enjoying curating these and making them available to you, I have been exploring more paper choices, trying to find, the best recommendations for you. So my number one suggestion to anybody who asks me what papers I recommend is whatever brand printer you have. I recommend finding their highest quality paper. Look for like a photo paper or a presentation, brochure paper, whatever they recommend as their highest quality. Because if you have an HP printer and you're using the best HP papers, in theory, HP has tested everything together and it should work. It should be that should be your most optimal combination. I happen to have the Epson Eco Tank. It's their lowest line Eco Tank for like a couple $100. I picked it up. And it is, I think, the 2803 if you want to know specifically. And that's what I use to print all of these. And it just does such a fabulous job. However, I've been exploring different papers. I'll tell you, I have another video on tips and tricks for printing digital papers if you want to check my channel for that. But where I started was the Epson presentation paper in matte, because I was taking my own sort of advice. I mean, really, it was just logically, I was struggling with getting good prints with my Eco Tank, and I thought, man, this printer is so overhyped. But I was using what I thought was super good paper, because I was using Hammermill digital color copy paper. And I quickly found that either I wasn't printing at the right settings, or more likely just that I wasn't using the right paper for the job. So I thought, okay, it's expensive, but let me just try it. So I found that. And oh my gosh, I started to get really gorgeous prints from this. But what you'll may note is that this paper, if you try it out, it's not very thick. It's only 27 pound cover weight, or 102 GSM, or 4.9 mils. And all of that is for you to gauge the thickness of the paper. Pretty thin stuff, but I do believe that I think there's a place for when to use those papers. I use it for these prints. This is from my Easy card making kit, the Hedgehog Hugs, and you can see how thin this is. But one of the reasons why I like using it for prints like these and this, which is just solid color, is because likely I'm just going to be using these as mats and layers. And that way, when you start to layer up a lot of these, it doesn't get super thick or weigh down your card a lot. Especially if you plan to add, maybe some foam and other things to your card. It could really get, over that 1 ounce limit that we have for sending cards with a single stamp. So I still find that there's a place for this. However, most of the time, what I've been recommending lately is the premium presentation paper. And this is 48 pound, or 178 GSM, or 9.8 mil. And you'll notice this is 4.9. This is 9.8. So twice as thick. And that is what I use the majority of the time. So this, to be honest, it is a little bit on the thin side in terms of if you were to really call it cardstock. It's even lighter weight than what I would consider lightweight cardstock. Typically, my lightweight cardstock is maybe 65 pound cover weight. So it is slightly on the thin side as cardstocks go, but it still die cuts beautifully. And I think it's gorgeous quality prints. And again, if you're wanting to keep in mind the like how heavy your card is at the end of the day, if you tend to use a lot of mats and layers, this might be pretty optimal for you. But did you know there's an ultra premium presentation paper? And this, I thought, okay, what makes this ultra? Because really the only thing I noticed was that this is 51 pound, or 192 GSM. It's 10.3 mil. Compared to 9.8, that's not a huge difference in paper weight. And so I thought, oh, is the difference going to be in quality? Let's find out. It happened to be kind of on sale during Black Friday. So let me show you what that looks like when you print it. I gotta say, I'm not 100% certain that I have this at the right paper setting, printer setting, but I'm gonna show it to you anyways, and then that way you can kind of draw your own conclusions. On the left is the Ultra presentation paper in matte. On the right is the Premium presentation paper. I can tell you which one I like better. You can tell me in the comments which one you like better. And it might depend, which one you like better might depend on where you're looking and what you're looking for. But I'll be honest, I feel like this has more range of color. Like it just, some areas just look richer and brighter. Some areas look deeper. Like this looks a little bit washed out to me as compared to this. You can see there's more contrast here. Maybe if I didn't see them side by side, I wouldn't really tell that there's a quality difference, but you know, having the benefit of testing them both side by side, especially in these dark areas, you can really see if you don't have a lot of contrast, the brighter colors don't pop quite as much. And so you can see this area here kind of looks about the same. I think I can see a little bit more details here because of the shadows being a little bit more prominent, but it's really in these darker areas where I think a lot of the differences, and here as well, you can kind of see you lose a little bit of the details. Let me bring this up close just so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. So left side is the Ultra, right side is the Premium, just Premium. And I have to say, Epson, I really wish you had like made the packaging maybe like a different color. You're really relying on us picking up on the wording here. But in terms of packaging, it would have been nice if they used like a different color for each of these so that you can really be sure that you're getting the one that you want. This is in order of thickness of paper. So this is like in that 4.9 mil, 9.8 mil, and 10.3 mil. So this is your thickest and this is your thinnest paper. But I have to say, I might need to tinker a little bit, but the quality of print I feel is best. Between these two, it's pretty much the same, presentation and Premium presentation. But the Ultra Premium, I'm having a hard time finding what the right printer setting is for this because, and I'll tell you why, maybe I need to update my printer driver, because when you go to print, if you have an Epson EcoTank, and can't speak for any other printer because the EcoTank is what I have. When you go to print with the EcoTank, if you have the Epson printer driver and that's what's being used in your print dialog, you're going to see an option to pick Epson Premium presentation paper. You will see an option to pick Epson presentation paper, but there is no option for Ultra presentation paper matte. They have Ultra Premium presentation paper glossy, but not matte. So maybe I need to print it on the glossy setting, but that didn't seem to make a difference. Now, that being said, I did do that test with my Easy Card Making kit. This is the Easy Guide from that kit. And with these, it's actually almost nearly identical. How I can tell one is different from the other is the Ultra Premium presentation paper, it's single-sided. So if you print on the wrong side of that paper, it looks like this. And so you need to print on the correct side. And how you know you're on the correct side versus the wrong side, one side actually looks a little bit brighter and whiter, and the other side looks a little bit off-white. So otherwise, there's no marking. You can't really tell. But if you get like a really terrible print, then you definitely know why. Just try printing again on the other side. That's the difference it makes. So I'm still exploring, what yields a good print on which types of papers, but I wanted to share that there is such an option. I also wanted to share that if you are looking at papers, keep in mind that if most of the time we're probably not using double-sided printing. So if that's the case for you and you're not actually printing on both sides, look for single-sided premium presentation paper. I only just recently discovered that it is a thing. And when you get it, when you find a sale on it, it can be as little as I think $7 and change for a pack of 50. Which is different. It's cheaper by like $2 because on sale, this is around $9 for a pack of 50. Double-sided can be kind of nice if you just don't want to have to pay super close attention as to how you're loading the paper into your printer. But you are paying for that. So if you want to look for something that's a little bit easier on your wallet, maybe look for single-sided. Okay, so that's one type of paper that I was exploring, the ultra premium. Not really sold on that yet. I did test this out. I'm kind of liking this, friends. Semi-gloss. This is Koala Semi-Gloss. And so far, I've been such a fan of matte. But man, I gave this semi-gloss a try because thanks to Laura Lee, she said she accidentally printed on glossy paper and she loved how it turned out. So I thought, oh, let me try that. And so this is a different brand paper. This is not Epson. This is Koala paper, and it's a different finish. It's a semi-gloss as opposed to matte. So if I take you can kind of see it's almost night and day. This is Epson printed matte. This is Koala semi-gloss. And it's just very different. It's very, very different. This has much more reds in it. I mean, the color is completely different. This is more muted, and I think the tones are a little bit more neutral. This, though, I feel the brighter areas are a little bit brighter. I don't know if that's just a factor of it just having a little bit of a shine to it, having that coating of that little bit of gloss to it, which is very subtle. I wouldn't say this is like a high gloss, but it's just very different. You can kind of see, especially in the browns, it's almost looks like it's a different color. It's a very reddish brown versus a very neutral brown. And here are these images down here. Like these don't look too different. These look maybe a little bit different. This is a little bit brighter. This actually has a little bit more reddish. These look a little bit different. So there's some differences, but you can kind of see very, very night and day the differences. So then this is premium, Epson premium presentation, and again, Koala semi-gloss. Guys, I'm becoming almost a convert of the semi-gloss here. Now this, I feel like, again, because the color, translation is a little bit different. This feels like it's more bluish, and this feels a little bit more greenish. But again, like, look how rich. I mean, you lose some of the details with how dark some of these areas get, but because they are so dark, and I think the yellows might be just about the same, but the yellows, that metallic gold just really it just looks so much brighter. And of course, it's got that little bit of a shine too, so that helps it also kind of look a little bit brighter. But there's the difference between them. Really, really lovely. So then the last one for comparison is this one here. And again, we've got browns, and my settings for the koala paper and just how the printer driver interprets the colors, it's just very different how it interprets these browns. But then when you go down here to these, it's not, there's some differences, but it's not as big, it's not as noticeable. This does seem to be like a more cleaner off-white color, where this feels a little bit more reddish. And to be honest, I do think that this is a little bit more truer to the actual graphic as I'm looking at it on my computer. But again, that might be because of how my particular monitor also. So there's so many different variables as to, how this might look to you in real person and versus on the computer. And also, what you prefer, because a lot of this is just also personal choice, how which ones you like better. So that's the set of Epson Koala Semi-Gloss. Quickly becoming a fan. And then, okay, I found this in my craft room, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that this paper is probably 20 plus years old. It's Kodak paper. It's Kodak photo paper. And thankfully it's actually watermarked on the back. That way you know which side is the front. And this is like a higher gloss. This is definitely like a glossy print or a glossy paper. And it's I don't super, it did weird things. I feel like it's hard to predict. This should roughly be the same brown, but it interpreted this one very gray, and this one does tend to go a little bit more reddish. These ones here printed just fine, I feel. Maybe this looks a little bit more like the koala. Maybe anything with a little bit of that gloss coating just comes out looking a little bit whiter. But then again, this one looks a little bit closer to the premium Epson paper. But since this is the one that I have a good benchmark on with all of the others, we can compare. So the borderless one is my Kodak Glossy. This is Koala Semi-Gloss. So you can see how glossy it really has that shine. This has a little bit of a shine, but it's more subtle. This, see that bright spot where you can really see that white spot of my photo or my lights. And again, it does tend to feel a little bit more flat and a lot more green, I think. And it's just doesn't have the depth of color that the Epson has or that the Koala has. So I would say not all photo paper, like we might think that, photo paper might be the best, any photo paper would be great, because photo paper, usually I tend to think, that's probably going to be a nice high quality paper, because everybody wants their photos to look gorgeous. But could be that this is just really ancient old paper, but it was sealed, hadn't yet been opened, so hadn't been exposed to light or anything, just 100% brand new, never opened it in the 20 plus years I've had it. And so that's how it looks. So those are all the caveats. Take it for what you will, but I just wanted to share. Maybe not all photo papers are created equal, because all of these are some kind of variation on photo papers. So at the moment, my favorite two brands still are the Koala photo paper in matte, and the Epson Premium. I guess this is technically a presentation paper. The Epson Premium presentation paper. So those are my two favorite. Koala also has matte photo paper, which I absolutely love, but I'm starting to get converted into the semi-gloss, and I'm gonna continue to tinker with this ultra premium one since I have a pack of it. But at the moment, I'm not super recommending that you get this unless you do want to do some of your own experimentation. But if you just want to wait for me to kind of experiment and report back, then you're more than welcome to. If I can get it to print at least on par, that would be great. But really, I need it to look spectacular, because in terms of thickness, it's not a ton thicker than the premium presentation paper. The ultra presentation paper, it's just marginally, like, a little bit thicker. Not worth the extra cost, in my honest opinion. But if I can get it to print like phenomenal and it's leagues better, maybe it is worth it. But at the moment, the jury is still out. So that is my new collection, Steampunk Guys, available on my website now. And just a little bit about my paper experimentation. I like to kind of do these experimentations so you don't have to. So if you find that valuable, I hope you'll like this video and maybe even subscribe to my channel. Links to everything will be in the description box below. And until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.